I'm in my 40s, and if you're in your 20s or your 30s, then you need to watch this. Your 20s should be focused on exploring and learning, and your 30s on establishing and growing. Then, by the time you're in your 40s, optimizing your systems to exponentially grow your wealth. I mean, I made so many mistakes in my 20s and in my 30s, and if someone had told me what I'm going to tell you in the next 7 minutes, then I will be so much more successful right now. In this video, I'll share the key lessons that I've learned over the years that have helped me grow and sell a 7-figure business and build multiple other 8-figure businesses. Start now, because time is your biggest asset. You see, when you're in your 20s or 30s, it's easy to think that you've got all the time in the world. And I know, because I've been there. You know, maybe you think, oh, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get to it when I'm ready. But trust me, waiting will not get you anywhere. Time is your biggest asset, and the longer that you wait to make a move, the more and more it slips away. Take it from someone who's been through the highs and the lows. I see people every single day who've hesitated for too long, and now they just drown in regret. Sure, we've all heard the saying, time flies, but let me tell you, time flies even faster when you're not using it wisely. I've watched people around me waste precious years before realizing the importance of taking action. And the earlier that you start building something, whether that's a career, a network, or your investments, the more time that you give it to grow and to multiply. Now, when I first started out, I didn't wait for perfect conditions. I just started, and those small steps paid off in ways that I couldn't have predicted. Now, here's the truth. Don't wait for the perfect moment. I've learned the hard way. If you wait for everything to be flawless, you'll be stuck in a cycle of hesitation. The best time to start something was yesterday, but the second best time is right now. And even if your first step is small, it is still a step forward. And when you look back, you'll see just how much you've actually achieved because you didn't wait. However, it's not good enough to just start. You've also got to fail. And let me tell you, failure is not a dirty word. In fact, I'm going to explain why failing fast can actually be one of the best things you can do for your growth. Mistakes are your best teachers, but learn fast. Well, let's be real. Nobody likes to fail. It's uncomfortable, it can feel embarrassing, and sometimes it really fucking stings. Believe me, I've been there more times than I care to admit, and it still happens to me now. But here is the truth. Failure is not the enemy. In fact, I'd argue it's one of the best teachers that you will ever have. See, the problem isn't failure itself, it's how quickly you bounce back and how quickly you learn from it. Now, don't get me wrong, we all want to avoid mistakes, especially when they can cost us time or cost us money. But I can tell you from experience that embracing those mistakes is where the real magic happens. Because the real key isn't avoiding failure altogether, it's about failing fast and learning faster. Because every mistake is a mini lesson, and each one offers something valuable if you're willing to understand what went wrong, to pivot, to move forward. You'll be surprised how much you can actually grow when you stop fearing failure and start actually seeing it as part of the process. Here's the thing, if you fail at something, it's not a signal to quit, it's actually an opportunity to improve. I have hit rock bottom and I've faced failure more times than I can count, but each time it's taught me something new. Now, most successful people I know will tell you that their biggest achievements came after a series of failures. See, it's not about avoiding mistakes, it's about making them, learning from them, then getting back up stronger than before. But you know what? Failing and learning from it isn't the only thing that matters. There's something even more powerful than knowing just what to do. It's knowing the right people to help you along the way. Relationships, the secret weapon that you overlooked. Well, this might be something that you're not prepared to hear just yet, but success does not happen in a vacuum. You can have the best ideas, the sharpest skills, and the most relentless drive. But without relationships, you're putting a ceiling on your potential. Now, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that building a business is all about what you know, but in reality, it's also just as much about who you know. You see, the power of relationships isn't just about knowing people around you. It's about building genuine, lasting connections. And as you hit your 20s and your 30s, you're going to start to realize that having the right people in your corner can make all the difference. Whether it's mentors, partners, or peers, these relationships can open doors, offer support, and provide valuable insights. But here's the key. It's never too early to start building your network. In fact, the earlier that you invest in relationships, the better. You've got to think about them as assets, and they appreciate over time, just like stocks and shares. And just like any asset, the more you nurture it, the more they'll pay you back in unexpected ways. Take it from someone who has seen time and time again, building strong relationships takes time and effort, but the return on that effort is immeasurable. Whether it's a chance meeting that leads to a business opportunity or a mentor who helps you avoid costly mistakes, these connections can shape the trajectory of your career in ways that you can never predict. But here's the thing, relationships are crucial, but they won't carry you through on their own. Because there's one more thing that you need to get ahead, and that is how well you adapt to change. Because trust me, change is inevitable. Adaptability, the key to thriving through change. Now, you may be thinking, of course I know I need to adapt, but here's the reality. Adaptation isn't just about reacting to what happens, it's about proactively navigating change before it hits. Because the truth is, industries evolve, technologies advance, and even the way that we work shifts completely. And you cannot afford to be stuck in old ways when the world is moving forward. Let's face it, the only constant in life is change, and if you want to stay ahead, you've got to get comfortable with the idea that nothing stays the same for long. But here's the good news. Adaptability isn't about predicting every change, it's about learning to respond quickly and effectively. Think about the businesses that have managed to thrive over the years. They didn't stick to one strategy and expect it to work forever. They saw shifts in the market, in technology, or in consumer behaviour, and they adjusted, and that is what kept them ahead of the curve. Now here's where adaptability really comes into play. It's about pivoting when you need to and knowing when to double down on something that's working. It's about being open to new ideas, new tools, and to new ways of doing things. Whether you're in your 20s or your 30s, now is the time to develop that mindset of flexibility. Take it from someone who's had to pivot more times than I can count. If you're not willing to change with the times, you risk getting left behind. In fact, you don't risk it, you guarantee it. Because at the end of the day, adaptability is what keeps you relevant. Now, whether you're just starting out or you're already well on your way, please remember this. Time is one of your biggest assets, and the earlier you start, the more you're going to benefit in the long run. If you've got any other really important advice for people in their 20s and 30s that I've missed out, then let me know in the comments, because you could, without knowing it, be massively helping someone out. And also, please remember, like, subscribe, and comment something else if you want to comment something else. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, then you're going to absolutely love this one right here.